What's up, y'all? It's me, Dutchess, and in this particular video, y'all, I'll be recapping Black Ink Crew Season 3, what is this, episodes 17 or 18 now? Something along the lines, or part 2 of Season 3. And shout out to my YouTube fam, and also, if y'all didn't look at the Love and Hip Hop review, which I'm posting up tonight or early tomorrow morning, and who knows how long the upload gonna take on YouTube. But and shout out to her. Her birthday was today. Was like 12:07 around here, you know, a.m. But I hope you enjoyed your day, Lady Nika. She also does Black Ink Crew video reviews as well. Besides, of course, some more love. You know, other YouTube fan members I know do that. Were okay, of course, Mike B. And the Ghetto View, Miss Nika. Her name's Miss Nika. I call her. She also does reviews as well. Of course, Bonnie Blue and Ashley Miller does them as well. I'm trying to also, it probably will come in my head. It was somebody else, a couple other people. Like I said, if you list them, I'll try to, if I can, to remember to put it down. And like I said, if people want to ask, I'm going to try to make sure to review Black Ink Chicago. Okay, when that comes out. So, don't forget to subscribe. If you're not, you know, part of the YouTube fam already. Don't like and share this video, y'all. And let's get into it. First, I want to, of course, bring up Sky for this reason, because that makes me cry about the whole thing dealing with, you know, losing her, you know, sending her kids, having to give them up for adoption because of the circumstances. She wasn't able to raise them in what she felt was an appropriate environment. And so she meets with her best friend that she's known for 20 years, and she kidding around like, you know, the best friend, you know, the father of her child, or, you know, baby daddy, whatever she want to call it, has not really been involved around, you know, Sky's, you know, godson. That's for sure. Her best friend's son is her godson. So she just joked around baby daddy. But she was talking to her best friend, one of her best friends, I guess, about, you know, the doctors asking about the kids. And she's like, you know, I don't usually cry or nothing like that. But she just feels some type of way. And her friend, of course, make a long story short, suggested that she should write to her sons. You know, that we did find out it was like an adoption, but I don't know if it's open. I guess, is that considered open or closed? Because she was saying that, you know, once we seen later on that her mom and her had hung out, and her mother agreed that, you know, it's okay to write her kids, but I don't know when she's going to send a letter, because it didn't show like to address, unless she's going to put it inside of address. But, you know, it turns out, even though Sky hasn't reached out to him, because maybe it's a thing of not, you know, wanting to pop up, and then the kids can question, like, you know, you weren't there, why all of a sudden now, or why you weren't here, and blah, 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 you know, maybe some guilt thing. And she says she knows she'd be stalking her son's, you know, Facebook page. She knows the team code. So even though she's from a distance, she still is, you know, the best way she can as far as for her, you know, is involved in her son's, you know, in her son's lives. So she ends up, you know, writing this letter. It was just so sad. She just crying right. She writing a letter, but she said, you know, when she writes it that way, her children can decide when they get 18 years old to decide. I don't know how old her children are, and you know how old Sky is, but you know, they'll have the decision to decide if they want to be involved with her or not. So, like I said, I don't know if it's an open or closed up thing, or if Sky is just not wanting because of the guilt. And because she even said she still doesn't feel like she, you know, didn't know how to be a mother, you know, some along them lines, and she still doesn't know how to be a mother and all this stuff. So it's kind of like, it seems like she's pushing, you know, away, or like I said, I don't know if it's a closed adoption, you know, but I don't know. But, you know, it's just so sad to see that part. I just want to give Sky a hug. So anyways, the Puma thing, I might as well say that, because a lot of it is all attached to C's and the Dutchess situation. You know, this is what majority of the episode was. I mean, Puma, we're just going to save the ball for last, because that still intertwines with, you know, the C situation. You know, C's being involved. Like I said, focus more on this episode. So anyways, y'all, they come back from the trip, and, you know, C's feels some type of way where it's like, oh, no. Their last day of the trip, and you know how Dutchess felt, you know, let's do the real and them trip. And she, of course, is basically like, you know, I feel this way, blah, 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 and I've been there for you, can you be there for me? That type of shit, right? And of course, she cried, I loved you, but it's the same shit, so we ain't got to even go through all that. you, and why can't you be there for me, and one of them type of things. And she cried on cue, but you could tell, see, that's a way. She knows how to get to C's, because he admits himself, like, even if they're crocodile tears, whatever, he can't stand her crying. So now he's saying at the moment now, he told her, okay, we'll move down south when she, you know, when they get married. And you know, them tears, magic trick, she didn't even have no snot come out, no, she didn't do the, you know, when you be having that ugly crying shit, like, you know, Sky, when you really are crying, that type of shit, that's real crying. Okay, that's from the soul right there. They're just the emotions. But that bullshit, as soon as he said that, she, like I said, it was nothing. Just nothing. I'm like, these, he already got issues as being a bad businessman as is. Or he ain't paying no lights. And we about to get that shit too. Because Watt kind of like spilled the beans on some certain shit, whatever, right? So they come back in the trip, you know, shit talking to Teddy and Watt. And I think Sky was in there, of course. And he was all talking, he the coldest, you know, Steve Cole, Austin, coldest, like, tattoo barber, just talking shit, whatever. Dutchess and, C's come through the door, and, you know, they asked him about the trip and stuff. And it seemed like a lot of times when they were talking, didn't it seem like C's was cut off by, like, Dutchess, like, they asked certain questions, like, you know, Sky was asking, for example, how do you feel about, you know, transitioning, you know, where you just like was down there from there. And here go Dutchess. Well, he was up there, you know, fishing for catfish with my daddy at 5 o'clock in the morning and stuff like blah, blah, blah. Then I think about a couple people asked a question. She just was trying to, you know, basically say like, oh, he good there. And he gonna be good there. Because I'm making his ass move down there whether he wants to or not. And that's when C's breaks the news to everybody that he's planning on moving supposedly down south, whatever. And you know how Teddy confessional's like, wait a minute, she got him pussy whipped, every damn thing's manipulative ass, and I can agree with Teddy, okay? Alright? And Walt is like, this is when he spilled the beans and shit, talking about, oh, you can move to North Carolina and shit like that, whatever, but we can't get no heat or no AC? What type of shit is that? So, no wonder they be sitting there in triple fat goose fucking coats on and shit. Because I thought, you know, I'm just like, really? Really, C's? Oh my gosh. Oh my god. So, that's how Dutchess, you know, you can tell that she's happy because she's got seeds wrapped around her finger and stuff. And then, of course, he still confronted old shit about, you know, like, you had her in the shop and he basically, like, don't have that. He was like, she still came in after I disrespect, call all type of names, stuff like that. That's the same thing I was thinking. But she probably, like, you know, like, speculation that she's trying to stay on the show. Or maybe it could be something where she has contracted. I don't know. But she's not doing that, you know, just to be doing that. You know, that's not the only shot. But, you know, would she be fucking with Black even if they weren't on TV? Would she even move out of Ohio if it wasn't up? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not the only African American on top. You know, I'm just saying this, or, you know, or the most famous one. I'm just saying. All right. But, you know, they basically don't let that bitch in there again. And so, which we all know, the Teddy thing was talking about how old shit be thinking with his dick. Like, he's like, I be about bitches, but I don't think about my dick. I can separate the two when it comes to business. Okay. All right. Unless Teddy's a silent partner. I don't know. But, because we don't know what he does. But anyways, like I said, we have, like I said, this on and off thing about him deciding whether or not he wants to, you know, like, do the business. And this even affects his decisions when he goes to meet with Med about the 124, right? And he was basically like, he tried with Puma. Med was like, you know, they took him under his wing. Med is like the godfather for what Caesar's told when it comes to tattooing in New York. You know, he was trained under him. He, you know, helped plenty of people, you know, get their stuff together as far as tattooing. And Med, you could tell, still like, he just doesn't understand what the fuck is going on with Puma. But he still, you know, it's like, you know, well, I'm about to get into that. So when C's, I'm thinking like, even though C's baby, he ain't paying no bills, you know, AC, not a ceiling fan or no shit in it, whatever, and at least the heater, you know, I don't know, maybe they do have heaters and a fan somewhere in that bitch. But what I'm saying is that it's so many words that can be said about this shit, right? But it's also the consideration, keep saying the business, but I have noticed in a couple other fellow YouTuber videos that I didn't point out my own self, that we already know he has drama with his baby moms that he already has, whatever, right? So what shit if he, you know, if he leaves New York, what the hell, and as far as how that's rated, what the hell would it become to be about that? But we all know Dutchess is worried about working on their own family. But was that mentioned anything about the baby he got right now? This episode, or the last episode before that, or the last episode before that? Please let me know. Because sometimes other people can help you see something you don't see, or give another perspective, and it'd be like, oh, okay, I feel you, or, you know, you can really disagree, just don't be disrespectful. You see what I'm saying? But anyways, I'm just like this. Like, really? Oh, okay. But, man, he decides to tell man to decline the offer, and he admits because of what Dutchess said. So, better yet, maybe, even though despite the fuckery and how he talks to females, stuff like that, which he need to get that shit taken care of, because this is on TV, and some people, you like I said, you might lose possible endorsements. Some people want to fuck with you because you snapping on people and shit, and how you kind of, people may say, view females. And they're going to be looking at Dutchess stupid like, okay, is that how you feel? So you view yourself like this, whatever, as long as it's probable. You know, a lot of people are not liking Dutchess probably because of this show and her ongoing fuckery of behavior, okay? So, anyways, he decides to decline, but like I said, it's because of the, you know, he doesn't want Dutchess to kill him and stuff like that. Even though Caesar's having back and forth, starting to think like, is he changing and not in a good way? Or if like 2 years ago, he would have took that shot. But now he's consideration, or basically, there's a difference of compromise and sitting here and just pushing your life to the side instead of compromising, working together. But you push everything aside to be with this particular person. Okay. Alright. So he just took a piece of, like, the sign 124, because, like I said, when man had asked, like, what's going to come between us as far as, like, you know, with Puma or us working, but, you know, Cease was saying that maybe in the long run, I guess, maybe they can, like, squash it, or maybe he said to Teddy, I don't know, because the sure was totally different when we seen that meeting, okay? The meeting. So, anyways, he took the thing back to the shop, and people must have thought he was going to buy 124. But he said, you know, you see Dutchess face all, dirty Dutchess face all screwed up and shit. I forgot to put dirty in front of it. And she, he betting that, he bet that shit. What the hell? He's got this piece of, this in his hand, or whatever. And he admitted that he didn't buy it. And then, you know, like I said, you know, excuse me, y'all. It just seemed like he said, he keeps changing his, you know, Dutchess, of course, is happy as hell because he's still going to plan according to her. Okay, even though this is a marriage, everything has to go her way. Alright? So, they get this one dude, the only time we've seen a tattoo, because you know it's always 1 or 2 tattoos made. This one dude comes in, and he wants the Grim Reaper to stick his middle finger up. And he has, you know, the Archangel St. Michael's, you know, stumping the, you know, the demon under him, you know, with, I think with the sword or something like that. But y'all seen, most of us probably have seen, like, the photo, you know, the Archangel St. Michael, you know, like, the demon is under his foot, okay? And, so, this dude wants, and not interesting enough, he wants not only the tattoos, saying that he wants them to be done at the same time. So Dutchess is doing the side with the angels, and you know the Grim Reaper. The dude said the reason why he wanted the Grim Reaper thing, give it a middle finger, is like he escaped death 6 times. One time he was shot, he still has a slug, you know, somewhere in his body. He's like, he left that lifestyle 10 years ago, but we still deal with demons every day, you know. But he wanted done. And then, you know, Dutchess trying to ask Teddy, you know, because first, see, he's just like, well, why you got me up there, you know, supposed to drop, you know, draw the devil. And here, we got Dutchess, like, trying to ask Teddy, like, well, that's because you're the mean one, I'm the sweet one. Teddy just like this, like, bitch, don't even look towards my direction, dirty Dutchess. The DD, gone somewhere. You know, type of look. He like, I ain't trying to get in the middle of the shit. I'm sick and tired of that bullshit, whatever. And, and so they do the tats. It was kind of like, I could honestly say they were kind of decent, but I noticed when they show the tattoos, they don't even give like 15 to 30 seconds. It's like some tattoos you can catch where they're pretty decent, and it's like, I don't know. It seems somewhat decent. I'm not trying to, you know, downplay their work, whatever. It's just that they don't give me enough time or give the viewer enough time to enjoy the tattoo, or we think the tattoo ain't shit, or look like, you know, we doing stencils in the 8th grade art class or whatever. I'm saying is they just don't give you the chance to really look at the line. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how sometimes you see certain shows and they just they don't do that. Okay? But that's interesting to get them done at the same time, because of your tattoos at the same time though. Last 4 that I got, I have a total of 6 tats. But the last 4 I got 2 done at, you know, not at the same time. They would say that, you know, like, get the one done and get the break. I got the bigger one done first, and then got the smaller one, which the angel with the cross in my back, if y'all, you know, if y'all still been seeing my tats since the beginning, but I haven't really shown, unless you're on my Facebook, whatever, like the uncle. I'll maybe do a video in the future about the tats I had. I'm trying to get a 7 one again, get a cover up, you know, all that stuff too. But yeah, another cover up. But yeah, but I just had like the ankh here, cross here, and you know, the butterfly. Sometimes y'all see here, and just this. My skin's ashy. I ain't gonna lie, but that's why you see it today. But yeah, so that's interesting. But yeah, we have another scene that sees this meeting taking barbershop, and he says he's got a text from Puma, which Puma said to Sassy about he was wanting to meet up with C's, and you know, like, this needs to be done. And Sassy knows that he seemed to be going to a lot. His hair, he was kind of taking care of it, but just like how the way he feels all over the place, that's how his hair, mitts is just laying all over the place. You can see his demeanor is just like this. Even though he still feels like C's in the wrong, and, you know, whatever, he feels like he has a point to prove, as far as he was telling Sassy, like, maybe, you know, we can meet, well, I'm going to try to meet with him one-on-one, and Sassy's like, well, okay, if that's meant what you want to do, but he had told her that, you know, Kwani has left with the child and went to Atlanta because of everything. So he feels like if he squashed whatever needs to be done so to get the bullshit out the way, I guess, that maybe he can prove to Kwani that it's worth coming back to New York, or she'll feel safe, whatever. So, like I said, sees me with Teddy, and even Teddy is sitting there kind of looking like, when he tells him about, you want to meet with a dude, and y'all, you know, he tried to do physical harm to you, and, you know, if that's cousin, whether it's blood or not blood, you know, related, he probably knew that C's was going to act the way he ended up acting. Like, you want to meet with this dude after he did physical harm to you, okay. Even though they have a 15-year friendship, and I know, Puma said when they met up that he knew him since he was 18. So I'm like, okay, does that mean all y'all in y'all 30s? Because the way Puma talks is if he's younger than C's. So how old is it? I'm just saying hopefully, like, okay, y'all acting like this, and y'all in y'all 30s. I'm just saying, okay. All right, some people, it pick up a little longer to get that stubbornness and shit. Maybe that's what we're saying, okay? So anyways, but C's, like I say, he ain't liking the changes and no shit like that. So he comes to tell Teddy he thinking about signing, you know, her sign a paper. Because I think they even asked, you know, it was even asked when is C's and Dutchess getting married. Dirty Dutchess getting married. Still, no date, nobody set up nothing, whatever, right? Because deep down inside, the way C's is acting and stuff, he knows damn well that he doesn't feel really, really official or sure that he wants to marry her. Just based on this stuff. Because even Teddy's like, a prenup, once that's what C's had told him, that that's what the hell he wanted to do, right? And he's like this. He looks at prenups like this. That's what I'm talking about, what Teddy seemed to be, you know, based on what he said. Like, you know, okay, you obviously, you know, you already cheated on Dutchess, and, you know, that's already going to be brought up, I guess, as long as they together. That's never going to leave. But he's like this. Obviously, you feel like something's going to go wrong any damn way. A prenup is like saying, like, if, you know, you're not being on favor, saying, hopefully stay with this person for the rest of your lives till the Lord takes y'all, you already know it's going to be some mess. So, he wants to dinner with Dutchess. And interesting enough, you know, here's Dutchess again, you know, talking and, you know, about, you know, when we go to North Carolina, blah, blah, blah. She already found a place. He asked questions about, you know, the property stuff down there, right, I guess, where they have a tattoo shop. She found, says it's a good place in the middle of the town down there. It's more diverse and stuff, so that's double the money. So they can feast instead of, eat, whatever, right? We gonna have not just a plate, we gonna have a whole buffet and shit. You can get all the fuck you want to eat, okay? So, she was like, but this shop, whether it's ours or mine, really I want to say mine, and, you know, just like how she looking at them houses with fucking boats and shit. Yeah, that's when Bob really had went off in the confessionals when she was talking about this big ass house, and Caesar said how this original house was. But yeah, that's what Watt was saying, like, you can't get us hot chocolate and shit on a regular damn basis when it's cold as fuck. But yeah, you talking about moving, not only moving, but you moving in with yachts and shit, okay. Alright. But here's the whole thing. So she talking about what's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine type of speech, basically. And then she's like, just like how the black ink is the same way here, just like that's yours, but that's mine too as well, you know, ours as well, or something. And then sees, you know, kind of that's when he had no problem talking about the prenup then. And then she like, and then she decided to basically say, you know, well, black ain't about nothing, ain't about shit. You know, that type of thing. Like, there she go, Dirty Dutchess, okay? Now you want to downplay the business. But Black Ink was the one who got this damn show that's been running since season 3 years. Would we have known, or they would have not got that much, you know, be famous or whatever, or being recognized, you know, as far as like what they do and stuff, if they weren't on the show for Black Ink. Was this Dirty Dutchess Ink? Hell no, it wasn't. So for her to be sitting here downplaying the show, I mean the shop, whatever, it's kind of like, you know, again, that's manipulation that she's using, and she's downplaying C's, and they just is talking, but I don't think they really, because she was laughing like she was about to, like, you know, trying to find a near steak knife, because she just like whatever and blah blah blah. And we went through ups and downs. I think this was before, you know, he told about Prenup, so she just like whatever, you know. They kind of ended where it was. I forgot the majority conversation after that, but you know, he said in confessionals like how she's downplaying his business and everything, just making him have mixed emotions and everything. So later on the scene where he finally meets Puma, Puma's in this restaurant, and sees, just thought about it, kept thinking. You got the one side of Puma somehow, you know, I knew this person, he keeps attacking my family, blah blah blah. Then you got C's like, I tried to put food in the plate of this family, and after all these years, blah 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 blah. You just hearing both sides confessionals, and they walk into the restaurant. And C's is like, you know what? I'm gonna give you the opportunity that you never gave me and stuff. You try to, you know, come at my, you know, harm us, have us jump up bottles, you know, basically like this. And C's is like, I mean, you know, Puma seemed like he was actually trying to talk to him and be the last resort, I guess, of talk. Because he's like this, wait a minute, so he's like, oh, come on, let's do it. Blah, blah, blah. You got shit saying now. You got us dirty niggas, blah, blah, blah. And I guess, based on what C's was trying to make it seem like in the confessionals, it's like he just flipped. And all he can think about was that possible Hennessy bottle. That's because he was mad about, like, he been with this person, helped this person all these years, and stuff like that. But this is just my opinion, y'all. I also believe that since he ain't gonna stand up to Dirty Dutchess, at least at this moment, it took him more of an opportunity to take it out on Puma. You see what I'm saying? And certain folks, you know, that he may take it out, that he's not going to do that up. And I'm not talking about coming at, no, he has no right to touch, throw hands on Dirty Dutchess, no woman, period. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that anger, I do believe it has something to Puma, because the last time he seen Puma was the night of the incident, stuff like that. But like I said, Teddy already trying to warn him, like, bro, don't go there. It's all, you know, like I said, he didn't say confessionals, but it wasn't surprising he was going to act like that. So, you know, like I said, Puma a couple times was trying to talk to him, and then he was like, come on. So Puma, I think, stood up like 90% of the way was standing up, but he didn't even have his hands up. Here go. See, so he said give him the opportunity, right? But Puma didn't have a chance to even throw the napkin holder at his ass, or salt shaker, or nothing if he was going to throw something, because already C was already trying to this and that, but the security already pulled off, and he's like, you're a pussy, blah, blah, blah. And that's why Puma, of course, ended up leaving, because they separated. But he like this, I haven't seen him since the incident, woo, woo, blah, 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 blah. And like I said, since you're going to square up man to man, you didn't give him time to throw hands at all. You know, Puma, we know, is not a fighter. And would this be totally different if it was like, you know, a boxer dude or whatever? But like I said, he didn't give it a chance of it. I can understand a certain point of him being angry, but I'm just saying that could have been avoided. He could have either like left the night alone, or if you want to square up and fight, you didn't give a chance. I didn't see no hands come from Puma. You know, it was kind of like, unfortunately, the same thing we seen when you got these dudes up here attacking him, you know, whatever, and he didn't put no hands up then. We seen, what was it, still season 2 with that shit, when they were claiming they shouldn't be, whatever, these group of people probably just want attention on TV with that fuck shit over there, said something. So that's kind of how the episode ends, where it's like, whatever, and they guess like they never gonna be able to be in the same room and shit. But I'm just like, okay, C's. Like I said, I know that Puma's on some fluctuation, but you know, even Puma's like, he has won everything. I lost every darn thing, and he still wants to fight me. A little part of me understands like this, that anger, and then you know sometimes once you realize, okay, this person maybe kept looking at the footage and stuff, where it's stuck in his head, but at the same time, Puma's looking like, why you fight? You have won everything. He could have like basically come at, you know, him like, you ain't got shit, woo woo woo. Like the same thing how Dutchess was saying in confessionals, how she come for the juggler and she likes to attack people mentally. And sometimes that leaves more scars than physical, you know, physical itself, you know, some scars. And, you know, it's just like come for the juggler. And she's like, oh, she haven't met the right one yet. You know, I don't know, her and Sky gonna get into next episode. But I'm just like, Dirty Dutchess, whatever. Okay. If they get married, you know, I mean, a miracle, because miracles can happen every day. That's all I got to say about that one, okay? Because we don't know how the way this is going, alright? Anyways, y'all, that's all I have to say. Yeah, pleasant, wonderful night, pleasant weekend, pleasant morning, and I definitely see y'all next video. Alright, take care.